Hello everyone, this is Professor Akinda Tumerino from JARS Education Institute, and today I want to talk to us about adverse childhood experiences. We call them ACEs. These are potentially traumatic events that occur between the ages of 0 to 17 years of age. The more ACEs you have, the more predictive maladaptiveness is as an adult. And so we have to gather around this problem and make sure that our children are not so adversely or negatively impacted during childhood. ACEs can have lasting negative effect on their health and their emotional well-being, and it can have negative effect on the type of jobs that they get, the spouse that they marry, their quality of life as adult. This thing is egregious. It is a developmental trauma that does not have to be, because look, we all you will be traumatized at one time or the other in our lives, experience a trauma at one time or the other in our life, but we don't have to be traumatized. So when a child experiences high stressors during their developmental years, if we have supporting adults, caring adults who know, even if they don't know the answer, if you know how to get help for that child, then they do not have to be a statistic. It is said that 67% or so of the United States population have suffered at least one ACEs. And so this is pervasive. We need to understand that this is also preventable. We have to develop protective factors in families that allow us to grow in a nurturing, safe environment that would enable our children to flourish. I want to encourage you today to take a good look at those people around you and begin to ask yourself, am I inadvertently or either consciously or unconsciously exposing my children to any ACEs at all? So ACEs include things like is your divorce, is your one of your parents in jail, child abuse, either child abuse or neglect. It includes the secondary trauma, maybe parents who fight and who bicker around the children. And there's another thing. There's one thing I want to talk about. Some parents will say, well, the kids don't see us fight, but there is an energy when there is when there is negativity in the atmosphere, in the room, in your house. There is an energy that you release, whether the children are there or not. They're part of that environment, and that energy, they're part of that negative energy. So it is, and it will affect them. It will impact them. And so that is an ACEs. ACEs include things like, if somebody has a mental health issue that is untreated in the family, is there addiction in the family, all of the big things that happen, and even some little things like neglect. So we need to decide, like, what can we prevent? What are some of the things that we can prevent as parent? The one thing you can do as a protective factor is to build a relationship with your children that is open, and they understand that they can come to you no matter what. That they can come to you no matter what. That is the most important thing that you can do as a parent. And if you're a teacher and educator and you understand that maybe a child might be experiencing some ACEs at home, it is your responsibility then to ensure that you have a conversation with that family or with that child and see if they would open up to you. Any adult that is interacting with the child, any adult that is in the purview of that child becomes a burden bearer. And you are able to help us create healthy communities, because if our children are not doing well, then they're going to become adults who are not faring well, and we'll have unhealthy communities. Remember that we are each other's allies as long as we decide that we decide that we want healthy communities. And if that is it, then we need to tend to one another. And so it starts from your home. I want to encourage you today. You can learn a little bit more about ACES. You can just Google it, or you can, come to JARS Education. We have courses on trauma, and especially if you are a parent who you just want to learn more about this. Well, click on some of our courses and know that we are there for you. You will be well trained. And if you're a coach out there and you are attending like a life coach, and you are having sessions with parents, and you've never really been trained in trauma informed care, where we really go into ACEs or even adverse childhood experiences, then you want to click on the link below and give yourself that gift. So that's me signing up today. I wish you well, and I pray that all of our children live in healthy homes.